Hi, Preeti. Good morning. Okay. All of you listen. So first I'm going to explain about the concepts of NumPy and pandas. Okay. Then later I'll give you some time for you to raise your queries. After that, we'll start with the next session, right? Okay, like I will start with the AI topic, no? Okay. So first I'm going to explain about NumPy and then pandas today. For the next 45 minutes, right? Okay, I request all of you, please put your call on mute. Okay, my voice is audible and my screen is audible for everyone, right? Anybody is facing any issues with the, yeah, Vignesh?
No, ma'am, it's clear.
No issues.
Ah, thank you. Okay, so I request all of you, please put your call on mute. Okay, so I'm just going to explain today first. I'll start with NumPy. Then later we are going to discuss about pandas. After that, I'll start with the topic, no, as per our syllabus, right? So let's start with the topic perceptron, right? So this is our first topic in our syllabus, no? So I'll start with the perceptron. And then I'll continue the same perceptron topic with two different examples today. One is a normal Python program, like your basic Python program you tried, no, with classes and objects, right? Then later I try the same perceptron program with NumPy. Usually we do this perceptron concept with NumPy. But before moving to that, we will learn first what is perceptron, how to use this one, like what is the main usage of perceptron and all. No? So like let us understand everything in detail. But to understand this concept, first you must have a good understanding of the basics of NumPy and pandas concept. So I'll start with first NumPy and pandas today. Then later I'll move to the topic as per our syllabus, no, like perceptron today. Okay, then we will continue the remaining topics in our next sections, right? Okay. So before moving to this, I hope all of you, like yesterday, we have gone through the introduction of what is Python. So now you are able to understand the usage of Python, like how to write simple functions in Python. For example, like before moving to that, I'm just going to tell you the quick overview of classes and objects because Python is an object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming in the sense, I'll just take all the notes. Okay, I will share all the notes in the group later. Okay, I'll take all the notes. Finally, I'll share the notes in the WhatsApp group and I'll give you some assignments also. You have exactly like next to 5 days time, no? Like you can finish your assignments and submit your assignments in the group later. I will note down all your names. So from today onwards, I'm going to give you the assignments. So you all practice. And if you have any doubts for the assignment also, you can raise your queries in the WhatsApp group also. I will explain everything, right? Okay, let us start with first understanding of Python object-oriented programming today. First, I'll give you the overview only because you have already studied about OOPS concept in your basic Python programming, right? Okay, I'll start with first what is class and what is object, also the constructor. These are the important terms, right? Class is nothing but it's a container. It is used for storing different collections of data. I'll start with first one, oops. Then later we are going to start with NumPy, and then I'm going to explain about pandas. Finally, we are going to learn about perceptron. So this is our today's section, right? Okay. So I'll give you some time for you to raise your queries. In the meantime, all of you, please put your call. Okay, let's start with the session as per our syllabus, no? Later. Okay, so to understand this one, you must have a good understanding of these concepts, right? That is the reason, like I'm taking again one more time. What is class? Class is nothing but it's a container and it is used to store, different collection of data. Different collection of data in the sense it contains different properties and it contains different properties and functions. So that is the usage of class. Okay, then what is the use of object? Object is nothing but it is the member of the class. member of the class. So what is the meaning of object? It is used to access the class data. So that is why object is very important, right? Why? Because you have a class, but you want to access any data from the class, you need an object. That is the reason this language is named as object-oriented programming. So why the language is not named as class-oriented or some other different name? Because the main role is actually performed by object. That is the reason we are calling this language as object-oriented programming. Okay. So now, before moving to object, we have to know one of the important term is known as constructor. Constructor is also one of the main function in Python. But what is the role of constructor? Constructor allocates memory for your class because initially the class does not contain any memory. So that is the reason we have to allocate memory for the class. So we need a constructor. So the main role of constructor is used to provide memory. And one more important of constructor is actually related to allocating memory. This is one of the main advantage, right? Because initially the class does not contain any memory. Constructor is only used for allocating memory. And one more advantage of constructor is like many people think like class is used to create an object. It is not true actually. The constructor is only used to create an object. So which one is used for creation of an object? Maybe if you are going to attend any interviews in any companies, no? So they will ask you more questions based on this. So which one is used to create an object is very simple. This is not only for Python actually. Even the same rule is also applicable for any programming languages. Even if you are going to study Java, C Sharp, C++, or any other different programming languages, right? The syntax are same only. Like the definitions are same also. For example, like even any programming languages, class is a container and it stores different collection of data and different types of functions. Object is the member of the class and it is used to access the data of the class. That is the reason this language is named as object-oriented programming, because if you have some data in your application, but you can't able to access the data in the sense there is no need of storing the data, right? That is the reason this language is known as object oriented. Okay, and one more important here is actually to understand about constructor. It allocates memory. Also, it is used to create an object. So constructor is only used to create an object. I'm just going to try one simple program for how to use constructor. I told you already, like you can use any editors. For example, like you want, you can go with Jupyter, or you can try Spider, or you can connect with the PyCharm. Even you can try the programs in normal VS Code. So whatever you want, you can try. So we don't have any restrictions to try Python programs. For example, like yesterday session, I tried one simple program in VS Code, right? With how to generate random OTP and random strings in previous session. Why this topic is important? Because we have to know how to generate the random data. For example, like if you store any informations or like you are connecting any informations in a random sequence, so you have to apply this logic. So to understand random, you have to know the good idea of like how to use list. But you all already studied about list in your basics of Python programming. But we know what is list actually. List is a collection of different kinds of data and it supports duplicate values also. Duplicate values contain same index. For example, like just for an example, I'm talking about here, L is equal to 11, 12, 13, 11, 14, 11, 15, right? So the index is actually 0, 1, 2, again 0, 1, sorry, this is third position. So this one will take 4, again 0, and this one is 6. So this is how the list allocates values with the index, which means like if you store duplicate values in your list, the duplicate values share the same index and the next value will take the next index because this is third position, but the third position is already occupied with the duplicate value. So the next value will take the next position. So this is how the concept is related for list. Why I am telling this indexing? Because you have to know how to perform slicing. Because to go with the NumPy, Pandas, or even in AI related concepts also, we have to know how to use the slicing. Slicing is one of the very, very important concept, right? Okay, so now we come back to this constructor. Okay, constructor is one of the very important and special function. But how to identify constructor? It is denoted by underscore underscore init. Maybe you have tried this type of scenarios in your Django or any kind of class, any other applications in your class, no? Like maybe in your Python course, right? You can see this kind of file actually. So if you see this underscore underscore init underscore underscore, right? It is nothing but initialization. So it is initially allocating some memory for the entire program, correct? Okay, I'm just going to create a simple class now. But I told you already, you can try Python programs in any editor. But as of now, I'm going to use with normal Spider today. Okay, I'll just save the program first. You can save your file in any location. So I'm just going to save my file in my D drive. Okay, I'll save with the first.py. But the file format is already understand, no? Because it is I am running directly in my Spider, so no need to type .py. You can just give the file name. But in case you are working with VS Code, right? You have to give the file with the proper extension. Suppose you are working with the proper Python editor, no need to put the extension. Directly you can save it. The editor can easily understand that you are trying to use only with the Python file, right? But now this is only for Python editors. If you go with the common editors, you have to save the file with proper extension. So always go with the best practice. Like wherever you want to save the file, no, please go to the location and always go with the file name.py. And one more thing, here we don't have any restriction. The file name is any name. Maybe it starts with upper cases or lower cases. No, you don't have any restriction here, and there is no necessity here that you have to save the file name as same as your class name, like Java. There is no restriction. File name is your own name. You can start with any name. Okay. So now best practice is always with file name.py. Say with the proper extension, right? Okay. Now I'm just going to try one simple program for how to use classes, objects, and constructor in simple class, right? Let's start with class. Okay. Class followed by I'll just create class with the remember, if you create any class, right, you have to give first the proper name for the class. And one more thing, class name begins with capital letter. This is also one kind of constraint actually, but it is not mandatory that you can try class name with lowercase also. But usually we practice in a good way, like class name begins with uppercase. So this is the good way actually. So now I'll give the class name as student. Okay, so this is a block. So we know already how to write block in Python. We have to put colon. So colon indicates that you are creating a new block here. Okay, and then I'm just going to define a constructor here. So how to define a constructor? Very simple, with the keyword of underscore underscore init, right? I'll just go with now dev underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Here I'll just pass something like a comma b. And remember, if I want to access the values of uh, if I want to access the values of a comma b in my entire function, right? So I can assign like this, like self dot a equal to a, and then self dot b is equal to b. So what is the meaning of self? So self indicates that the function belongs to the class. It is a mandatory keyword in Python, right? And you can use any keyword. It is not necessary that we have to use only self, no. But for common convention, we are always using self. Okay. This is similar to this keyword in other programming language. No? So now I am using self. So remember, if you are not using this one, self, no, the Python function, right, cannot understand here. So it will show an error message like one argument is missing. But now if you try the same function without class, remember, you have a function is out. As I told you, no, like class is a combination of different properties and functions, right? But now the function is outside, right? It is not in the class. it is a standalone function. So here you don't need to put self keyword. Okay, like a sample function. And you can call the function directly here after completion of the block. No? So we don't have any restriction because the function is standalone. It is not dependent on anything. That is the reason we always avoid this self keyword in common function like standalone function. But when we go for the functions inside a class, no, because we are going to solve more concepts in classes and objects only in perceptron in the next session. That is why I'm just explaining again one more time so that it will be easy for you to recollect your previous Python programming, right? So self keyword is mandatory. I have given two arguments now. And remember, the two arguments are passed inside a constructor function. This is not user-defined function. Suppose I just want to add any user-defined function, right? You all already studied about the different types of variables in your Python programming, right? So we have three types of variables. One is global variable, correct? Variables are different types like global, public, and second one private. This concept is related to the encapsulation, right? Public, private, and the third one is protected. Okay, so how to denote public variable? Very simple. For example, like you can take anything, no, like data is equal, like age equal to 10. This is public variable, right? And how to denote private variable? Very simple, with the help of single underscore, right? I'll go with marks equal to 20. So what is the meaning of private variable? The private variable is only accessible in the same class. You cannot access in other classes, right? And what is the meaning of protected variable? Sorry, uh, private variables are double underscore, right? And protected variables are single underscore. Okay, like I'll go with the city equal to Chennai. So now you can see here, right? So there is a difference between private variables and public variables and protected variables. You all already studied about this encapsulation topic, so no need to explain further. But we know the usage of public is actually related to the class and the scope of the variable, right? Can be accessed anywhere. You don't need to worry about it. But private variable is only accessible in the same class and protected variables are accessed in the same class or the corresponding derived class, which means it is connected with the concept of inheritance, right? So you have already studied this type of different scopes of variables. No, these are the different scopes like public, private, and protected. But remember, in Python we don't have any keywords actually. But in Java or C Sharp or even C++ also, we have a keywords like public, private, protected. But we don't have any keyword. So for private, we use double underscore, and for protected, we use single underscore. Similarly, this is not only for variables actually, the same rule is also applicable for functions. Even if you want to create any functions as a private function, you can do the same, like by using double underscore. For example, like def double underscore add. If I write like this, okay, so now what is happening? Can you see this? Remember, the predefined functions, like I'm talking about the constructor, no, constructor declaration is double underscore init double underscore. For example, like we have different types of functions like double underscore str double underscore. No, maybe you have studied this type of concept in your operator overloading also, right? You can use a double underscore add double underscore, and you can use sub. Okay, that is related to the different types of predefined functions. But now I'm talking about the private function, right? Private functions are identified by double underscore with the function name. So what is the scope of private function? Very simple, same as like private variable, right? Private variable scope is only valid in the corresponding class. Similarly, the private function scope is also valid only in the same class. And what about protected function? For example, like if I have sub here, usually we start, and remember, usually the function name starts with lowercase in Python. And if you want to write any functions with multiple words, no, for example, like I just want to get data, something, right? If you want to write some kind of combination, right? Some programming languages like Java follows camel case notation. Like this is common in Java, JavaScript programming languages. But Python, we always use snake case. For example, like if you want to try the same get data in Python, we use get underscore data. This is common in Python. We follow the snake case. So we usually the function name starts with lowercase. So these are the simple conventional rules. Actually, you have to follow the rules. If you try to follow the conventions like starting with capital letters of classes and the variable scopes, also you practice with different types of notations like how to create an object, how to create a constructor, how to set your functions with the user defined names and all. No, like maybe it is a good way of writing your programming language into the next level. Maybe you just start practicing your program in your office. For example, like you are all going to work in your companies in the future, no? So that time if you follow with this type of pattern, so the people will get you will get more appreciation from your environment because you are following with the proper way of writing rules and all, right? But some people follow these rules, and but some people try the code without any rules because Python is not a pure structure, right? Like we don't have to follow the proper structure, no? So this will not produce any error actually, but the coding way is not actually a good one, right? That is the reason if you start reading with any concept, not only for Python, like maybe in the future with any programming language also, first you have to know how to create a variable, how to create a constructor, and you have to follow the syntax, also the conventional rules actually, right? Then it will be easy for you to go with the flow and it will not difficult for you to write any complex programs also, right? Okay. So now, listen, here I have created with only one simple uh, function. The function is actually a predefined function constructor. Now I'm just going to add a simple user-defined function now, def add off. But remember, this function is also inside the class. As I told you already, like if you have any user-defined function, you have to put self. Then I'll go with now. I have declared the two variables in my constructor, a comma b. Correct. So the two variables are assigned in the constructor scope itself. So we can access anywhere because the variable scope is not valid only with the same block. You can access anywhere in your any other functions. For example, like you can use self.a plus self.b. Okay. But now listen carefully. For example, like you have a variable like def sum is a predefined function, right? Even add is also a predefined function. So you should not use any predefined function names as your user defined function. So this will create a conflict for calling your user defined function or you are trying to call the predefined function names. No, so better always give the common name or your own names for your user defined function and avoid, for example, like len, max, min, sum, correct? Even print, input of, index, count. So these are the so many predefined functions in Python. No? So you should not use that function names as your user defined. For example, like I'm just writing one here, self comma x comma y. Okay. So this is not a constructor based function. Listen carefully. I'm just writing now here print of, okay, self dot x. So no need to put self dot x also. You can directly access x and y because the x and y are two variables. The two variables are inside the same function. No? So the variable scope, these are the local variable, right? The local parameterized variable. So the variable scope is valid within the function only, and you can't able to access the value of x and y in other different functions because it's a local variable. That is the reason you don't need to try with x plus x self dot x plus self dot y. It is not needed. But now this type of variables, right? Can you notice this constructor variable parameters? No, you can access anywhere in your program. That is the reason we have assigned with self dot a and self dot b. In case you have some other properties in your functions like maybe you have a properties like uh, arithmetic, right? I'll just take with I equal to 10 and j equal to, if you want, you can get the value from user, but I'm just trying to explain now how to access the values of I and j, right? In other different functions. Now, for example, listen, here I and j are the two different functions, sorry, two different variables. So these are instance variable or properties. You can call anything, no? In your terms, right? But now, if you want to access the values of I and j, remember this is outside of the function scope, which means like you want to access ing in any of the functions you can access directly. But this is local declaration. The variable scope is valid only within the same block. But when we try to go for the next one, like ing, right? Maybe I'm trying with now one different function name, but we have to use self. It is mandatory. But now listen carefully. Instead of self, I'm just trying now data something. Okay, let's see now what will happen. As of now, we have used only the common keyword, no self, right? But now I'm using the keyword of data here actually. Then I try to call the variables. Like what are the two variables? I have I and j in my class. So I'm trying to access now data.I plus data.j. Okay. Let's see. Actually, uh, yeah, this is similar to this keyword of self, right? But we are just going to verify the output now. Then later you get some clear idea because to go with this perceptron or any other AI related programs, no, you can try everything in your function and then you create a class. After that, you create an object and call the data. Then you have to strong how to access and how to create a function, how to define a function, how to give different types of parameters like private variables, public variables, and protected variables, how to access variables with different levels of scopes and all. No, it is very, very important, right? Okay, now everything is over. As of now, I have created a simple class. But now if you don't want to pass any arguments in your function also, I'll just take it one with example now. Let's take result. Here I'm not going to pass any arguments, right? Let's take now directly with the sample function. Okay. Now listen, the two functions, right? The last two functions, no, there is no argument actually. Listen carefully. And the first three functions, right? Sorry, even the third one is also no argument, right? So no argument, which means the three functions like addition, result, and res does not require any argument from user. But when we go for the first two, like constructor and the summation, these two functions, no, you have to pass some values as a input to the function. Why? Because the function is already defined with some parameters in the declaration itself. Okay, let's move to the final step now. So as of now, class has been completed. So now just focus here. The class has been completed. So which means like it contains different collections of data and different types of functions are over there. Okay, but what is the next step? If I try to run this one, can you see this? I'm not able to get any output actually, even though we have a constructor here and we have a class here, but I'm not able to get any output because there is an object is needed. That is why the class member is known as object. It is used to access the data. That is the reason the language is named as object-oriented programming. Maybe you have so much data in your application, you have so much information, whatever it may be. If you try to call anything, right, it will not work. Why? Because without object, you can't do anything. So now it's time for us to understand how to create an object for the class. So how to create an object for the class? Very simple. So you just take any variable name. Okay, take any variable name. For example, like you can use any name. Object name equal to the class name. That's it. So very simple step. So now I'll take, for example, like I'll take easy for conventional purpose. I'm using obj now. But listen carefully, here the first two, three functions and the last one I have defined with the predefined self keyword. Can you see this? It is already defined in the language itself, no? But now the fourth one, right? The result function, I have given my own variable, like my name, my keyword. This is my own user-defined keyword, no? Data. Let's see now. I'm just trying to create an object for this program, right? Arithmetic. But can you notice this? Once object has been created, right? So this line, constructor. So what is a constructor? It allocates memory and it is used to create an object, which means class does not create an object. This is also very, very important. You have to keep it in your mind. Class does not create an object. The role of the class is not used to create an object. Constructor plays a vital role here. It allocates memory. Also, it is used to create an object And the one more advantage of constructor is once once object has been created, right? Once object has been created, then constructor constructor will invoke constructor will invoke the data automatically. Okay, this is very important. So once object has been created, then constructor will invoke the data. For example, like now the object is created here, then constructor will invoke the data. For example, like we have two variables, right? I'm just trying to pass now the variable with the values 10, 20. Then I'm going to call the functions one by one. So what are the functions over there? I'll just minimize the screen. So you can see the full code, right? Okay, so what are the functions here? Obj dot summation. Summation also need two input variables. So these are the parameter variables, right? I'm just trying to give now with x value and y value different. X value, y value. And what about the addition? Addition will take the value from constructor itself. So no need to give any values. Like I'll go with the obj dot, and it is not necessary that you have to go with the function call as per the order. You can call function any function. For example, like maybe you can call result, later addition, later summation, whatever it may be. You can call functions with any order, but depends upon the order it will return the output. For example, if you call the function with the res as first, like example here, I'm trying to call obj dot res. No, so the flow is actually running with, so these are the definitions. Already we have a definitions, no? So it start executing first, right? That is the reason you can call functions in any order, no restrictions. And the last one, right? So the last one is obj dot uh, result. Okay. Here even result also no arguments. No. Okay, fine. So according to the scenario, right? This is constructor, we are passing the variable here and we have access this variable anywhere in any functions. That is the reason I have given this example, right? A, B are constructor inside a parameter variables, but now we are able to access the variable of A and B. And these are the properties of the class, right? I and J. For example, like the same ij you want to access in anywhere of the program, right? You can access, but for little bit different, right? Here we know how to use self. Suppose you want to use self.i plus self.i, in the sense it will not produce any error, because to access any properties to inside of any other functions, no, we have to go with the keyword of self. This is fine. Self, without self, you can't able to access the members of the classes in other different functions, because function scope is different, properties different. Properties are defined outside of the function. But now the variable is defined inside your function, you can access directly. So you have to first verify the variable is outside or inside. If it is inside, you can call directly. If it is outside, you have to get the value with the help of self. But now the scenario is actually, as of now, we are very clear actually. This code will work, but there is a little bit confusion now. I have given the variable with data. Okay, so I'm just trying to run the program now. If we are getting any error, then later we will check out the error, right? We will analyze the error. Suppose if there is no error in the code, then we will check it out later. Okay. Yeah. Can you all see this now? I am getting output with first. Just focus in my corner screen here. Okay, just focus here. So here I'm getting the output with the sample function because I have executed obj.result. So this is executed. Suppose you want to see the visualize, no, like maybe you feel this is okay. Once again, I'll just open my comment prompt and you can see the answer clearly, right? Once again, here I'll just run the code. Okay, yeah. So I'll just run the code now. So we are able to see the output actually here, but it is looking very simple. Font size is very small. No, it is very difficult for you to focus. Okay, I'm running the same output in my command prompt. So just listen. I have got the same, and yeah, I have got the output actually. No error. So what we can understand from this, the first function is res. It is working, and the second function is summation. There is no doubt about it, it is also working, right? And the third one, addition, here also we don't have any doubt. Okay, but when we go for the last one, result, here the keyword is actually I have given with some different names too. So what we can understand from this actually, it is not necessary that we have to use the keyword self as a default argument in your function, correct? Which means you can use any name instead of self. You can use X, Y, ABCD, IFG, anything. Whatever you want, you can use the keyword. No? But for easy conventions, and to understand for everyone in the common, no, that is the reason they are using the keyword of self. But maybe this is also some of the repeated questions during your interviews, like they will expect you to check with is it mandatory that we have to use only the self keyword, or we can give some different name? Yeah, we can give say different name, no issue, but we should not use the different names. That is very, very important. See, for example, just for an example, I have given this value as a data, no, but we should not use different different keywords as an argument to the function, because maybe in our application we are able to understand, but if you share the same application to some different people, no, so they will get confusion, right? Why you are using different types of keywords in a function? That is the reason for best practice. Listen carefully. Again, I'm saying this is not returning any output, so no issue, because Python is one of the very simple and user-friendly language. It will not produce any error actually, unless you are trying with more complex mistakes in your program, no? Otherwise, you can get the output in any extent, right? That is the reason people are always interested in learning of Python, and AI is also very easy in trying programs in Python, because if you go with the same AI concepts in other different programming language, very, very complex actually. But when we go for Python programming, it is simple, user friendly. The keywords are also very simple, right? That is the reason. And again, I'm saying here it is possible, but we should not use like this. Okay, better we always use. For example, if I'm not using any keyword, let's see now. I'll just run this one. Okay, I'm not using any keyword here, right? Let me run this one. Can you see this? Now I am getting error actually, because the first three lines are working and the last line obj.result, it is taking one argument. So which means like it is expecting one argument from user. That is the reason if you give X, it will accept, and if you give Y, it will accept, right? Whatever you give, it will accept, but it is not correct way. You have to follow only with self. Okay. So now I run the same program, the same output, right? Okay. Yeah, so this is the basic scenario of classes, objects, and constructor. Okay, so the main important role for this concept is actually related to construct, object. That is why the language is named as object-oriented programming. Okay, so now when we go for the perceptron program, right, I'm just going to try one simple model like the neural network model. No, today I'll explain first what is neural network model, then later I'll design one neural network model based on this structure. That is the reason I'm taking now what is class, what is an object, how to create a constructor and all, right? Okay, as of now, you are able to understand clearly. And then next we move on to the next concept. Okay, let's move on to the concept now directly to the NumPy. Okay, so we know the usage of modules in Python, right? Python supports different types of modules like math, random, NumPy, pandas, regular expression, keras, TensorFlow, PyTorch. We have n number of modules, but some of the modules are very, very important to understand the basics of Gen AI, or you go for any other concepts related to machine learning or deep learning related programming stuff. Okay. So now NumPy is one of the very, very important concept. And remember, this NumPy concept is actually like even the most of the codings in Chandrayaan 3 project. No, maybe we are all aware of the rocket launched was more nearby the South Pole, right? By our Indian ISRO team. No, so the most of the codings after launching the project to the moon's nearest South Pole, right? So most of the codings I have written in NumPy only. So NumPy is one of the main powerful module. It is not only used for AI, even we are using this NumPy module for even scientific research like I said before, the Chandrayaan-3 project, right? And we are using this for statistics and any kind of educational services, or you are using, you can use it for even share markets also, right? So the role of NumPy is actually huge. That is the reason we are using this kind of module for data analysis and data science related domains also. Okay. Okay, let us start with understanding of NumPy module first. So NumPy is one of the powerful module. It is used for generating of it is simply known as numerical Python, and it is used for generation of n different dimension of data. N different dimensions of data in the sense, for example, even we are just going to generate in the upcoming days, no, maybe in our upcoming days, we are going to learn about this type of scenarios, right? I'll just go with the parsing and sequences, even clustering, predictions, right? So these are the different types of scenarios in our upcoming days, no? So to understand this kind of scenarios, right? So we will go with the different types of NumPy features, which means that you will take the sequence of different dimensions of data. So to understand this, first we are just going to understand the usage of what is NumPy today. Okay. So now I'm going to start up with first NumPy, then later we move on to the pandas. Finally, I will give you some time for you all to raise your queries. Then later clarify all your queries. I'll go with the topic of AI today, that is perceptron. Okay, now let's move on to the topic of NumPy. I'll just start with the introduction of first what is NumPy, and then I'll give you some quick important methods or quick important functionalities of NumPy today. Finally, if any of the functions are missing, maybe I'll take it in the next upcoming session, right? Once we go for the advanced concepts of AI, so that time I'll explain again NumPy, and then later I'll go with the Gen AI concept, right? Okay, but we have to know what is NumPy, how to understand the NumPy today, right? That is the reason. Let's start up with first beginning of NumPy. Okay, NumPy is one of the very important module. It is in different dimension of data, and it is a part of advanced module. Remember, NumPy is an advanced module, so you can't work directly. In case you want to try NumPy in VS Code, remember you have to install it. I told you already how to install NumPy by using pip install followed by the module name. Okay. Not only for NumPy, even you want to install PyTorch, TensorFlow, or whatever it may be. No. So you want to install any default modules in like any kind of advanced modules in Python, we have to use the syntax pip install followed by NumPy. This is mandatory. Okay, otherwise you can't able to work this NumPy even VS Code, or there is a default editor is available in our Python, no? Like normal IDLE, right? So this type of IDLE or any other different editors, right? Maybe you are practicing IDLE in your earlier stage of Python programming also. Right? Even you can try Python programs in IDLE also. This is also one of the good way of editor actually, right? But now to practice with basic editors, you have to install it. But when we go for this kind of advanced editors, like I'm trying now with Spider, you can try the same with Jupyter, or even you can also use Google Colab. Google Colab is also one of the very common way, uh, one of the very interactive, right? Google Colab is also one of the best practicing. Even I'm also using Google Colab. For example, like you can go with just practicing here, right? Let's it just up to your wish. You can start practicing code here. You can just run here. For example, like print out I, that's it. Just write here and then run. Okay. Now, so cell is already running. Let us wait for a while now. So now you can see the output directly, right? So Google Colab is also one kind of interactive editor. So to practice, yeah, you can see the output, right? Immediately. No? So you want to connect with even you want to install Jupyter or Spider, it's up to your wish. In case I don't want to install any other advanced editor in the sense, the best and most convenient way is actually Google Colab. You can try practicing Google Colab also. So we can do even at least you need a basic, actually you need a Google account, like Gmail account is enough. But without that, you don't need to install anything in Google Colab, right? That is also one kind of best practicing environment. Okay, it's your wish. You can go with any editors. Now I'm going to try with NumPy in Spider today. But before moving to that, as I said before, it is an advanced model and it performs different dimensions of data. And we can give the input in two different formats here. Like one is array, and you can give the input as range, array range of values. For example, like a range. Okay, for example, if you go with any modules in any Python language, no, in any Python advanced module, first we have to import NumPy as NP. I told you already, if the module name is little bit lengthier, you can use for allies. Okay, now I have imported first NumPy module, and then I'm just going to create a simple array. Correct? NumPy array is a n different dimensions, right? N different dimensions in the sense, for example, one dimension, two dimension, three dimension, four dimensions, up to n different dimensions of data. For example, like human eye is designed to view only the 2D data, right? If you go for 3D or 4D data in the sense, we can't able to see 3D images. No, that is the reason we are wearing some kind of specialized glasses. But same way, we want to check out 4D, 5D or different dimensions. Even like I told you, no, the previously, with most of the codings have written in NumPy only in Chandrayaan 3 project. But nobody can visualize the moon structure because we never seen moon before, right? But how to calculate the structure, like how to understand the shape, how to verify the distance from Earth to Moon. So these are the mathematical calculations and some kind of assumptions, predictions, and then later they can calculate with some accurate informations. No, that is the reason this NumPy is actually one of the most widely used popular Python library for different types of features, like different types of domains actually, right? Okay, so now NumPy is performing with different dimensions. Okay, let us understand first how to create a simple NumPy array with, I'm trying now with a range. Okay, I'll take on variable arr equal to np dot a range of, I'll go with 1 comma 25. Now the total number of elements are 24, right? I just want to check out the total number of elements. You can use a length, okay, no issues. Yeah, we have totally 24 elements. I'll just run it here. You can visualize clearly, right? More clearly. Right. So instead of seeing the output right here, I'm just showing the output in my comment prompt. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So now we have totally 24 elements. Okay, fine. So now listen here. As of now, we have created a simple one-dimensional array, right? But now we are able to create the same array with different dimensions. For example, like I just want to create the same array with two dimension. But remember, one dimension is actually by either rows or columns, correct? But when we go for two-dimensional array, it is a rows and columns of structure, right? So now I'm going to create two dimension with the np dot, sorry, arr dot reshape of, okay, arr dot reshape of 4 comma 6. So what is the meaning of this reshape of 4 comma 6? It is nothing but 4 rows and 6 columns of data, right? 4 rows and 6 columns. Like it is not necessary that we have to try with 4 comma 6. You can go with any kind of conversions, like maybe the total number of elements are 24, right? You can go with the 12 cross 2 or 3 cross 8 matrix, or you can go with anything, right? 3 cross 8 matrix in the sense, sorry, not 3 cross 8 actually, right? You can go with the 6 cross 4, 4 cross 6, 2 cross 12, right? We can go with different types of conversions. No, like here, the first argument, right? This is no row, and the second one is represented as column. So rows and columns. Okay, like the classification is row, comma, column. Okay, now we have totally 24 elements. So how this is actually located? Let's see the output now. I'll just run the output. Okay. Now the output is 3 rows and 4 columns. So just look at here. 4 rows and 6 columns. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 rows and 6 columns. Okay. Suppose here I just want to take the first row only here. Okay, first row in the sense, for example, like you know how to use slicing in your basic Python programming class, right? Just focus here. So this index is very important. For example, like the indexing position, no, how the values are arranged in the order. Like here, this is 0 index, this is 1, this one is 2, and this one is 3, right? The indexing position. And this is also 0, 1, 2, 3. And when we go for year, right? So this is 0, 1, and this one is, yeah. So now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. For example, let's see now the slicing here. I just want to take only the first row. If you want to take the first row, how to use the slicing here? Very simple. For example, like I'm taking now with the first row only, right? Okay, I'm just going to take only with first row now. Okay, let's see the answer. I'll go with the print. We have to apply the slicing, right? So this is first row. So 0, comma 0 colon. For example, this slicing is very important. Without understanding the knowledge of slicing, it is highly impossible for you to understand the concept of AI, right? Because everything is based on slicing only. So now 0, comma 0 colon, which means it takes the 0th row and the column of all 0 colon. 0 colon means it will take all columns. So answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we are able to see the output, the first row. So what is the first row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it is working. Suppose I want to take the first 2 rows. First 2 rows in the sense, here I have to apply again the slicing. I'll just show you now 0 colon 2. So what is the meaning of this? 0 colon 2 is nothing but, for example, this is 0th index and this is first index. And I'm using now colon 2. So it will take 0 as well as 1 together. Right. So now I'll run this one. Let's see. The answer is first 2 rows. Okay. Suppose I want to take the last 2 columns. Last 2 columns in the sense, let's see now how to access this one. Right. Minus 4. Sorry. 4. Last 2 columns, no, 0 colon, comma, 0 colon in a sense, it will take all the rows, and for the last 2 columns, 4 colon, 0 colon, comma, 4 colon. Okay, I'll just run this one now. The output is now, it will take the last 2 columns. Can you all see this? The last 2 columns are, so what is the last 2 column actually? The last 2 column is here you can see, no, the last 2 column is this is the last 2 column, right? Just focus my notepad. 5, 6, 11, 12, 17, 18, 23, 24. This is how you can use slicing here. Suppose you want to take the last row. So there is one more alternative way. Last row in the sense we can use the last row index 3, comma triple dot. You can also use this kind of slicing. Maybe you are aware of it and some people are not aware of it. No issues. 3 is nothing but the row index and you want to take all the columns, no? Because we want to take all the columns of the last row. That will return the last row, right? 3, comma triple dot. So the output is now, the answer is now 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So which is what is the value of last row? Yeah. So this is how you can use for slicing. And you want to take the minimum value, like you want to fetch out the minimum value, maybe like the middle row. For example, like the third row, right? So third row in the sense you want to take the minimum value means we use here with the same slicing like 2 comma okay and triple dot. After that you can apply dot min. So you can use some kind of functions, no, like minimum, maximum, sum. Yeah, whatever you want, you can try here. So the last row, third row, minimum value is 13 actually. I'll just run this one. Yeah, we are able to see the output now 30. So we can perform the slicing here with this type of numpy, which means like you can arrange the value and you can apply the index. After that, you can go with the proper specified as starting value to the ending value, right? So this is simply a normal NumPy mathematical calculation. But before moving to that, first we have to know NumPy is an array. It is not supporting of different collections of data. For example, I'm just telling you now. Here I have created the array with only the 2 dimension, right? But we are able to perform with n different dimensions. But for example, the same array, just we have understand how to use slicing. Am I correct? But now listen. Here I want to convert the same array into different dimensions. Like I want to convert the same array into 3 dimension, right? CRR equal to. So remember, you want to convert the array from one dimension to another dimension. First step, one dimensional array is only converted into the 2D. And then 2D array is only converted into the 3D. It is very, very important. You cannot convert directly from one dimensional array to the third dimension. That is not possible. Okay. So everything you have to follow with step by step. So now we have 2D array and then we can apply the same rule BRR dot reshape of. I'm going to now reshape this array with 3 different axes like X, Y, and Z axis now. For example, like let's take now the factor here, 4, 6. You can write this one like 2, 2, 6. For example, I have splitted the value of 4 with 2 into 2. If you want, you can do it, right? In case you want to keep 4 as a first one, and then you want to split the value of 6, which means like 3, 2. Whatever you want, you can do it. It's up to your wish, no? So now this is actually related to the first position, right? The first position is actually related to the number of split. And the second one is related to row, and the third one is related to column. So what about the array structure now look like? Which means like we have 4 split here, 4 split. In the 4 split, each 4 splits contains 3 rows and 2 columns of data. I'll just run the code now. You can understand clearly. I'll just run this one. So just focus on my comment prompt now. So what about the output will look like? So we have 4 splits and each splits contains 3 rows and 2 columns of data. Okay, let's see the output now. Sorry, I forgot to print this one, right? Okay, I'll print this one. Now see here. Let's see here. Yeah, focus now my screen. 4 rows. Sorry, 4 split. 1 split, 2 split, third split, and this is fourth split, right? Each split contains 3 rows, 1 row, 2 row, 3 row. And here also we have 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, right? So each split contains 3 rows and 2 columns. Can you focus here? First column, second column, first column, second column, first column, second column. So the dimension, right? Can you focus the dimension? Like it is starting with 3. I'll just increase now again. Listen carefully. Here we have a symbol like 3 opening square bracket, and how it is ended up actually 3 closing square brackets. So this is how you can identify the array with the dimension. For example, if I try to print the value of BRR, listen, BRR means I just comment this one for a while. Okay. Now what about the square brackets? If it is 3 dimension, it comes with 3 square brackets, right? When we go for the 2 dimension, obviously it comes with 2 square brackets. Can you see this? Now we are able to see only with the 2 square brackets here, no? And it's end up with 2 square brackets. This is how you can check out the dimension easily. And now we have created with the 4 dimension, 3 dimension, right? It is also possible for us to go for the further split of this array. By using now, let's go with DRR equal to CRR dot reshape of. So what is the value of 4 actually? 4 can be splitted into, it is splitted into 2 comma 2 comma 3 comma 2, right? So this is similar to the fourth dimension. Fourth dimension in the sense, like I told you, no, instead of 2 square brackets, you can see with the 4 square brackets, right? And one more thing is actually here, one more thing is actually, we have to follow this one, right? For example, this is similar to the same actually. The two positions, right? The first two positions, no, number of splits, 2 into 2, 4 splits, and 3 rows and 2 columns. The last two is split, now rows and columns, whatever it may be. Wherever you are going for the different dimensions, no, the last two positions are rows and columns, no doubt about it. But what about the remaining position? It is always splits, number of splits. But now I am running the same one here actually, but we got the same output, no, because previously we have got the same structure and we are having the same structure. But instead of that, I'm just rearranging the values now. Like I'll go with the 2 comma 3 comma 6, 2 comma uh 2. Okay, let's see now. So 2 comma 3, 6, 6 into 2, 12, 12 into 2, 14, sorry, 24, right? So now we have combination clearly, right? 24 elements are there. Okay, let me try to print the value of DRR now, just only for arranging in different order, because if I write the same one, we will get the same output, no? Instead of that, I'm just rearranging the values. So now what will be the output actually? Very simple. Let us multiply the first two position first, 2 into 3. So 6 splits, okay, and each split contains 2 rows and 2 columns of data, and it is actually identified by 4 square brackets, correct? This is the notation of 4 dimension. Okay, let me run this, you can understand clearly, right? I'll just run this one. So now you can see this output trend. So how this is actually look like? Focus here. So we have 4 square brackets, right? And the total number of splits are 2 into 3, which is 6. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have totally 6 splits. And each splits contains 2 rows and 2 columns. 2 rows, 2 columns, 2 rows, 2 columns. But what about the fourth dimension? When we go for after fifth dimension, right? So we cannot able to further split the same array, because the final combination of this array is only valid with 4 different dimensions. No, but when we go for the fifth dimension, we don't have any other common factor. Maybe if you have 6 or 10 or some different numbers here, you can go for further splits. No, but according to this array, it is only possible for us to convert till fourth dimension. That's it. So this is how you can go with the classifications of values as a input to the program, right? After that, you can go with the different dimension calculations. Finally, the value will stop at one particular point, right? Then you can conclude that is the final output scenario. But we will do the different combination of this NumPy array in our perceptron program little later. But right now, we are able to understand what is NumPy, and then how to access the values of a NumPy using slicing, correct, based on the row index and column index. And I have explained how to convert the different dimensions. Okay, last one, in the same NumPy array, right? Here you can try the NumPy array with even you can try the NumPy array with, instead of a range. For example, this is related to a range functionality, right? Instead of a range, you can try NumPy array with normal array list input, right? Sorry, array only. I just explained now how to do this with the array. Okay. So I'll take a list now. Let's see. Let me take on list now. L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. But listen carefully. We have only a few elements in this array list, right? I'm just trying to convert this one as an array. How to convert? Empty dot array. Yesterday's session I have explained how to convert correct? How to convert the string into list. So how to convert the string into list? If we go for the conversion of string to list, we use a predefined function. No, what is a predefined function? Instead of writing this, you can go with the list of D is a predefined function, right? You can directly convert. But when we go for the conversion of list to array, we have to apply the module np.array of L. Okay. So now this one is actually converted into the one-dimensional array. Let's see now the output here. Yeah, we are able to see the output as 1, 2, 3, 4 as an array. Correct? Now I'm just going to convert this one as a two-dimensional array. So we have only 4 elements. So only one possibility, right? ARR dot reshape of 2, 2. So now 2 rows and 2 columns only in the structure. Let me run this now. Okay, I'll run with the BRR. See the output is, yeah, 2 rows and 2 columns of data. Okay, no issues. But it is not possible for us to go with the further dimension because according to this array, we have only totally 2 elements. So the total conclusion of this array calculation is only for 2 rows and 2 columns. That's it, right? Okay, this is the normal calculation. But now listen carefully. The same two-dimensional array, for example, like I'll take one variable L is equal to, I'll go with different types of data like 1 and then I'll give different combination. Just focus here. The previous scenario I have given only with integer elements. Now I am giving with some different types of values like integer, floats and string together. Okay, so just focus now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and I'll give it 8 elements. Okay. So here, if I try to convert this list, right? So we already understand we can convert list into an array, string into a list. Anything is possible, no? One data type to another data type, which means like typecasting. We are converting the data type to another type. So now this list is totally different because the list supports same collection of values, also different collection of values. Because if you are going to use any type of data as an input to the array, right? You have to check the two possibilities. No, we have verified only with the same collection of values. It will not affect anything. But we have to verify the second possibility also. No, we have a different collection of elements. So let's see now this array. This list I'm just going to give as an input to the array and finally, we will verify this one will return any error or it will return some different modified output. Let's see the program changes now. I'll go with the different variable a equal to np dot array for converting the list to an array, right? Okay. So now I am trying to print the value of a. Let's see. We have a combination of different kinds of data, right? I'm just going to convert this one as an array. But remember, list supports different collection of data, but array does not support different collection of data. That is very important. Array does not, because to understand array, you have to know the basics of how to access the values and all, right? Array does not support different collections of data, which means it supports only the same data type. Correct? That is what I'm trying to convey. Different collection in the sense it supports only the same data type. Okay. How to check it out here? Very simple. I just run this one. So the output will be, okay, I'll run this one. What is happening actually now? Listen, here, this is array, right? One-dimensional array, no? 1, 2 is okay. 1.56. Can you see this? Like the remaining values, no? The remaining integer, either integer or float, whatever it may be, right? All the values are converted into the string. Why? Because string is the highest data type. So the thing is like, if you store the values as a string in your array, right? Like you want to convert to an array, it takes the highest priority data type. So all the values are by default converted into the string. But now if I remove the string here, let's see, we have only the numbers. But now the numbers are like integer and combination of float. But now listen here, let's take the previous one. Previously, we have same different collection of data. All the values are converted into the string because array itself convert the values to one common data type. The common data type is nothing but the highest common data type. For example, like the order is integer, then next priority goes to float. Finally, the highest priority for string. So the highest priority type is string. That is why all the values are converted into the string. But now I have arranged the same array with the float and combination of integer together. So what will happen? The next highest priority is float. So all the values are itself converted into the float. Yeah, everything is converted into the float. In case you don't have any float values, no issue. It will not produce any problem. It just show the value as it is. This is how the array itself arranges the values, which means like it does not support different combination of data. It supports only the same data type. Same data type in the sense which one is taking the highest priority, no? So the array will return the values in the remaining position, right? So this is one of the major concepts we have to understand in array. Okay, fine. So now we have a conclusion here. So what is NumPy? So I'll just conclude. I'll just explain, conclude again one more time. So we have gone through the usage of classes, objects, and constructor. It is very, very important because to understand any Python programming, not only for the basic, even we are going to try the advanced AI concepts also, right? Everything we are writing inside your classes and objects only. That is the reason I have taken what is class, how to create a constructor, how to define a function, how to create an object, finally how to access all the data from classes and objects, right? Then we go for the second section today with NumPy, but we have understand what is NumPy, how to create a NumPy, how to use slicing in NumPy, finally how to access the different dimensions of values, no, like one dimension, two dimension, three dimension, and multiple dimensions, right? So we understand the basic usage. But this is enough for us right now. But when we go for the next advanced concepts in our upcoming days, no? So that time I will teach again NumPy and then later I'll go with the AI topic. Okay. Let's move to the next module, pandas. Okay. Then finally we go with the topic as per our syllabus. No? So still we are not yet started our syllabus actually. So this is our starting syllabus. No? So we will go with the final section after completion of the introduction of pandas. Then later, actually, after completion of the pandas, I'll give you some time for all of you to raise your queries. Finally, I'll start with the topic as per our syllabus today. Let me move to the pandas now directly. Pandas is nothing but we are yet to discuss about NumPy, but I will explain in detail in our upcoming days. No, like for example, maybe this section, after this section is also needed with some NumPy concept. But if I take everything now, you will get more confusion. So once I move to the particular topic, that time I will explain again NumPy and I will explain again the same concept. It will be easy for you to match the corresponding concept, also the NumPy concept together. Okay. But you are able to understand easily now because now you are able to understand what is NumPy, how to create the structures and all, right? So you can understand easily. Don't worry about that. Okay, let's move on to the next important module is pandas. Pandas is one of the powerful Python library and used for mainly with data analytics domain, right? It is simply act as a database, act as a it is simply act as a database, which means like you can perform whatever you want. Like you can go with even maybe you have studied select query, where condition, order by, group by, joins. You have applied with between in your SQL queries. So maybe if you are good in SQL, right, you can easily understand pandas. So it is similar to the same of SQL queries only, right? So it simply act as a database. Okay, and we can give different file formats as input, and it will calculate the values, no, based on the input, right? Which means like CSV, CSV, PDF, and you can give some different types of Excel file formats. No? So whatever the file formats you want to give the value as an input, right? You can give. It's up to your wish. It will perform the necessary calculation. That is why pandas is one of the powerful data analytics library nowadays, right? And there are so many job vacancies are also available related to pandas. Uh, Most of the vacancies are actually in Bangalore side, no? So you want to apply specifically for pandas. Maybe if you're good in pandas, like it is already covered in your basic Python programming, no? So if you're good in pandas, you can apply for more jobs. There are so many job vacancies, like even only with pandas, right? You can apply, and all the salaries are high paid salaries only. That is how this module is very, very demanding one, but very, very quite interesting also. You don't need to put so much of effort actually. Very, your mind is very, if your mind is very sharp and you are good in calculations, no, you don't need to worry about for understanding of pandas, no. That is the reason like pandas is very advanced one, and very, very easy one also, right? Because no programming, only for calculations. Okay. So now I'm just going to explain what are the different types of data types, right? Different types. We have only two types in pandas. That is, one is series. It is related to one dimension, and the second one, data frame. Okay. Second one is data frame. It is a two-dimensional data. So I'm just going to give the short overview of what is series and what is data frame. Finally, I'll just create a simple CSV file as an input to the data frame. After that, at the end of the session, I will share one CSV file. I will give you some task. You can practice it during this weekend, no? Like maybe in your weekdays, and you can submit the assignment on next Friday or like even Saturday, before Saturday 10 a.m., right? I'll just verify all your assignment. Okay, like I'll start with first type here. So as of now, we have understand what is pandas. It's similar to the database, like you can perform exactly like similar to it is similar to SQL, correct? So we can give different types of file formats as input. Okay, we will do it later now, but let us understand first what is series. Actually, apart from series and data frame, we have one more data type also in pandas, that is panel, actually three-dimensional data, but it is deprecated now. No one is using panel actually. Panel is three dimension, but no one is using panel. It's completely deprecated because of its lagging of features. No, so they have deprecated actually. First, I go with the series. I'll start with first, and remember, this pandas is also a advanced module, so you cannot use directly, right? You have to install by using pip install followed by pandas command. Okay, it is mandatory. I have already installed this one, so no issue from my side. But remember, it is only for who are working with ideally, or you're working with the different VS Code. No, maybe you're working with Spider or Jupyter. Even I have explained just before with Google Colab, right? Google Colab is just only for a simple platform. No, you need only a simple Gmail account is enough. Then later you can directly log into the Google and you can start practicing itself, no? Because Google has introduced so many modules after the period of 2008 only. That is how the language of Python is very popular. But Python was invented before Java, like during the period of 1990s. But later 2008, Google company has introduced so many features. That is the reason you can directly try Python programs in Google Colab. It is also one of the direct platform you can start practicing. But you want to try with VS Code or normal, ideally you have to install it. It is mandatory. How to add this pandas library? Very simple. Import pandas as PD. So we use common aliasing name as PD, right? I'm just going to explain now the first one. So we have different dimensions, right? Let me try with the different types of inputs. Now let's go with the first one. Series is a one dimension. One dimension in the sense it can be represented either rows or column structure of data, right? Let me create one simple series now. I'll take S equal to, I'll take one list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to convert, as of now, we have taken so many examples are related to only list, right? it's time for us to try with some different types of input. I'm just going to take the value as a dictionary. Let's see, d equal to key colon value. We know what is dictionary. It's a combination of key and value pair of data, and dictionary is also a type of mutable. Mutable in the sense like you can add, update, also you can delete the values. No, I'll go with 20 now. Then next one, C colon 30, D colon 40. Okay, yeah. So now I have created one simple dictionary. Okay. So here I'm just going to convert the dictionary into a series because it's a one-dimensional data. I'm going to convert now as a series. So how to convert? Let's take one variable pd dot, okay, pd dot series of d. Let's see the answer now. Print of s. Okay, I'll run this one. Sorry. Yeah, so we are able to see now the answer, right? A10, B20, C30, and D40. If you want to specifically take the value of A, you can use S of A, correct? We can perform array indexing, no? So it will return the value of 10 alone, right? So you can create series, but series represents the data in a single dimension. Suppose you want to access any one-dimensional data in pandas, you can go with the series, but it is not that much used actually. To data frame two dimension, which means it is based on rows and columns of data. This is one of the most widely used data type in pandas, most widely used for all types of scenarios. No? And the data frame is mutable. Mutable in the sense like you can add row, you can update a row, you can delete a row. Also, you can add a column, you can update a column. Also, you can delete a column. Wherever, like in any aspect, even a row or a column. For example, you want to add new rows, new columns, or you want to delete any existing columns, or you want to delete any rows, you want to update any values in the particular cell, right? Whatever you want, you can do anything. We don't have any restriction. That is why data frame is one of the most widely used data type. And here in the data frame, no, we can give the input as a different types of file formats like CSV, TSV. You can use any file format. I'm just going to explain now how to give the input values here. But before moving to that, I have one sample file actually in my system, but I'll give you that sample file as an assignment for you, right? I'll give you the sample file finally later. Okay, but now I'll create one CSV file. Okay, I'll go with we know how to create a CSV file, right? I'll go with the CSV file creation in my system. Remember, my Python file is actually saved in my D drive. So I'm just going to save the CSV file also in my D drive location, which means it is easy for me to access the file. No? So I'll create a CSV file, ID, name, then marks, simple students.csv file. So where I'm going to save the file actually in my same D drive, I'll give the file name as students.csv. Remember the extension is very important. So I'm just going to change now the supported text file into all files because it will accept in any format. No, so remember not supported text file. I'll change the file type format as all files, and I have given the file name as any name. I'm just giving now with the students. Now ID, name, and marks. What happened? Students.csv. Okay. Then all files. Yeah, okay. Now remember the first one, right? So just focus here. The first row is actually a column name. You have to use the columns as per the name, like it is case sensitive. Column names are case sensitive. For example, if I return ID, right, then I try to access the value as lower case of ID. No, it will not work. Column name is case sensitive. Okay. I'll just add something for convenience. Uh, I'm just adding some records. Maybe if you have any external CSV file also, you can use it. But I'll give you one more CSV file as an assignment for you at the end of the session. Right? I'll go with 50. I'm just adding some records. One second, please wait. Okay. So we have we have some I'll just take this as a reference for you so that it will be easy for you to understand it. Just for an example, I have taken only with minimum rows, only for 10 rows. The calculations and the procedures are same for n number of rows, no? Maybe it is not for in your real time. If you go with the real time scenario, they will give you like millions of records, right? But pandas will calculate everything within a fraction of seconds. That is why we are using pandas for real time calculations, okay? So just for assume that we have a sample CSV file. Okay, I'm just going to now for understanding of how to do the calculations in pandas. For example, like we have a CSV file in the location. First step, we have to read the CSV file, which means like I said before, pandas is one of the simple library used for mainly with data analytics domain, right? It simply acts as a database similar to the SQL. You can perform all queries like you want to calculate, you want to fetch data, you want to even you can import, also you can export the data, like you can convert, you can export whatever you want. You can do any kind of calculations, right? Now I'm just going to first read the data from the file here. So how to read the data from file? Take one variable pd dot read underscore CSV of the file name. So what is the file name? Students.csv. Okay. So now we have a variable. What is our next step? We have to convert. This is actually rows and columns of data. So you cannot convert this data into a series because series is only for one dimensional data. But now we are just going to convert this data into the two dimension, right? So how to convert? Take one variable equal to pd dot data frame of the variable like data. Okay, fine. So I'm just going to print the value now by using df. See, let's see the output now. The file is actually now reading here. Okay, I'll just print the output now. Yeah, can you see this now? We are able to read the data as a data frame now. Okay, so here my first question, like I'm just going to solve some simple examples now. This is similar to select star from table name. We are able to visualize the data. Suppose I just want to calculate the maximum marks. Maximum marks in the sense like how do you write the query actually? Select max of marks from table name. Correct? This is what you're trying in normal SQL query. No, I'm going to perform the same one here. How to do this? I'll go with I'll just comment this one. Print df of the column name. So what is the column name? I told you the column name is case sensitive. So I'm just starting with now marks dot max. That's it. So this will return actually the maximum mark. I'll just run this one now. Yeah, you can see now the maximum mark is 100. But now my question is, I just want to check out the name, like the student name for the maximum mark. For example, like maximum mark of a student name. Okay. So how to do this actually? Maximum mark of a student name. So you need to apply the subquery in normal SQL, no? How to write the subquery? For example, select name from table name, correct? Where marks equal to, you can apply select, correct? Select max of marks from table name, correct? So this is the normal subquery, you know. First you will take the marks field. and then you can go with the var class, and you can apply marks equal to select marks of maximum marks from table name. Okay, I'm just going to solve this one now in pandas. Okay, let's see how to do this. First step, remember, take one variable like df1, because already we have a variable with df. I'll take with df1 equal to df of, okay, marks, uh, which is equal to correct, df of which is equal to df of marks dot max. Okay, so now I'm just trying to print df1. Let's see, I'm just trying to print df1. Let's see now the output. Can you see this now? I am getting some output actually, but can you visualize this one? I am getting false, 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 true, false. So fifth one true. Fifth one is nothing but this one. ID number 6, 100. Okay. And 10th one is also 100. So listen carefully. Once we go for the calculation of pandas, very, very important. This is very important. Everyone listen. If you get the result as Boolean value, correct? If you get the result as Boolean value, what you have to do, you have to convert the data into a data frame. That is very important. Listen carefully. I have got the answer as now Boolean. So I'm just trying to convert now the result as data frame. So now I am applying the same output here. Let's see the answer now. Yeah, we are able to get the output actually, sixth one and 10th one. But what is my question actually? I just want to take only the name. So what should I do here? I'll go with directly name. That's it. Correct. So now the answer is DD and EFE. Correct? Yeah, it is working. So this is how you can do the calculations like subquery. I have given one simple example for subquery now. Correct. For example, like maybe in SQL, you want to take the first two rows. How to write the first two rows? You will take select star from table name. Correct. Then you can apply limit to, correct, normal MySQL, no. But in pandas, you don't need to go with this kind of scenarios. You can directly take print df dot head of 2. Head of 2 in the sense it will take the first two rows. So the output will be the first two rows. It is working. No issues, right? And if you want to take the last two rows, we can go with the df dot tail of 2. Tail of 3 means it will take the last 3 rows. Correct? I'm just going to run this one now. Yeah, we are able to take the last 3 rows. Okay. And for example, like I'm just going to delete the column. Let's take an example of now I want to delete the marks column, not permanently, just only for an example. Like I'm going to delete a particular column, right? So if you want to delete a particular column in the sense, we can use we know how to use del keyword, right? So del space df of the column name. So what is the column name actually? Marks. So I'll just try to print now the data frame. So data frame itself, it will not change actually, but we are able to see the changes only temporarily in our screen. I'll run this one. Yeah, we have only now ID and name because pandas is actually a mutable. Mutable in the sense like you can add, update, also you can delete. But I have tried only with delete now. Okay. Suppose here in the same pandas calculations, you want to take the values above ID 5. So how do you write the normal SQL query? We use select ID from table name where ID greater than 5. This is what you are using in normal SQL server, no? But I want to try this one in pandas in the sense, very simple. Take one variable like df2, okay? So let's take df of the column. So what is the column here? ID, right? So df of ID greater than 5. But remember, if I try to print the value of df2, if it is coming with Boolean, let's see now, the answer is coming in Boolean or result. Yeah, now we are getting the answer as Boolean. So I told you already, wherever you are getting the value as a Boolean, you have to keep it inside a data frame. So I'm just going to convert this one, the result again into a data frame. Now the output is not in a Boolean actually. So let's see the changes here. It's not in a Boolean. Yeah, we are able to see the output clearly, no? So this is how you can apply the simple SQL ID coding. Suppose the same pandas like you want to take the values. Remember between some specific values like marks, no, between this particular range, right? You can apply like df3 equal to df of, we know the between query in SQL, right? We can apply the same query marks dot between of the range, from the range like you want to check it out with the range like 70 to, we have a 79 80s only, no, yeah, 50 is there, right? 70 to 90, right? 70 to 90 in the sense, let's set the range 70 comma 90 here. But now let's see the output is coming in Boolean or output as a result. Okay, I'll run this one. So I'll just run this one now. Yeah, again we are getting the answer as a Boolean only, right? So wherever we are getting the value as a Boolean, so we have to keep it inside a data frame only. So I'm just converting into a data frame, right? So the answer is now proper 80, 90 and 80, because these values are only in between the range. This is also working, correct? And remember, in normal SQL, you want to take multiple columns together. For example, like select ID, comma, marks from table name. We can take it, no? But how to take the two columns like ID instead of name? I want to take ID after marks, which means like skipping off one column, no? How to take it in pandas? Take one variable, df4 is equal to df of, for example, if you write comma, ID, comma, marks, no, this will not work actually. It will show an error message. I will tell you the reason now. If you take a single column, remember, if you take a single column, you can take it directly. But when we go for the columns with multiple, like two different columns together, no, so this will return error message. I'll show you the result now. We are getting error. So what we have to do, we have to keep it inside a two-dimensional frame, which means like you have to put double square brackets. That's it. Not only for, maybe if you want to take mean or other different columns also, you should not increase the columns. Actually, I'm not talking about the square brackets. The data is actually two-dimensional. That is why we have to put two square brackets. Now the output is, if you go with single square bracket, it will show error. Single square bracket is only taking with single column. For taking multiple columns, we have to put double square brackets. Now there is no error. This is how you can take multiple columns together. Okay. And the last one I'll take with conclude now. If you want to print the names, right? You want to print the names starting with C. Similarly, you can try the names ending with the, starts with and ends with in normal Python string programs, right? I'll just tell you now how to do this in SQL. For example, like starting with C, right? Print name from table name, where name like we use C percentage, right? This is common in SQL, no? Similarly, you want to try this one in pandas, right? We have to go with df5 is equal to df of, what is the field actually? Field is name, correct? But name is a data field in pandas. We have to convert into a string. So how to convert? .str. Then only the data will be converted into the string format, right? Then we can apply starts with of, the function is e. Now I'm just going to run this one. If it is coming with Boolean, then we have to keep the data in a data frame, right? Yeah, again we are getting the answer as a boolean. So the conclusion is we need to convert the data into the data frame. So for actually, I have given all the queries no, with the SQL along with pandas together. Why? Because it will be easy for you to focus both. No, now we are able to see the output. So this is how you can able to filter different types of data in pandas. But I have explained very minimum queries today. We have more queries in pandas like different LOC, ILOC functions also. You can perform slicing, correct? There are different scenarios are also there, right? But we will try everything in our upcoming days once we go for the corresponding AI topic. No? But right now we have understand how to read the data from pandas, how to perform simple queries. Like I have given example for first SQL query, then I have explained again with the pandas. Right? Okay, just only the basics today. I'll give you one more pandas CSV file for your at the end of the class, right? For your practice, you can just go through the file and you can practice pandas queries. It will be helpful for you to get more idea about pandas. Not for today actually. It will be helpful for your future also, right? Maybe if you are going to attend any interviews related to Gen AI also, no, in the upcoming days in your future, right? So they will ask you some questions based on the pandas also. So that time if you are try to explain to them, you will get more job opportunity, right? Okay. Yeah. So far we have covered the importance of what is OOPS, what is NumPy, and what is pandas today. I'll give you the assignment later. Okay, now it's time for us to go with the queries and answers. Then finally, I'll start with perceptron topic today. All of you, please unmute your call and just talk to me. Everyone, any doubts? Guys, let's start with Manjula, Ranjini, all of you. Manjula, Ranjini, Pratipa, hi. Hi. Ganga, all of you. Manish, everyone. Yeah, Ranjini.
Hi, ma'am. This is Ranjini.
Yes. Mm, mm. Yes, Ranjini, please talk to me. I'm listening.
Yeah, yeah. Ma'am, too many topics covered in a single class. We couldn't get a full idea about it, ma'am.
Okay. So these are the topics already you have studied in your Python, no? You have completed Python programming, right, Ranjani?
Yes, ma'am. But
Hmm. But you feel it is very difficult for you to understand. You have already studied Python, no? How can you say this?
yeah, but I felt like it's difficult to process it.
Oh my God. Okay. Maybe you have studied very minimum only in your Python programming, correct? Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Oh my God. Okay, okay. Then I'll do one thing, Ranjani. I will not touch the generative AI topic today. Don't worry. Let us finish only this Oops,
yeah,
NumPy and pandas today. We will start
yeah,
freshly on next week, right? Gen AI. Don't worry. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Then I'll just share this notes in the chat box. Yeah, go through this now, all of you. Please go through this. I'll give you 5 minutes time for all of you. Please go through this quickly and tell me if you have any doubts. I'm sharing in the chat box. Anyone can share it to the WhatsApp also. If it is needed, you can share it to the WhatsApp group. Yeah, please go through this. Can I give you 5 minutes time for all of you? Yeah. Ranjani, can I give you 5 minutes time? Can you go through the notes?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Please take your own time. All of you, please go through the notes. What about others? Kalyan, Sharat, Ganga Devi, Pratipa, hi. Pratipa, you
Hi,
asked
ma'am.
NumPy and pandas. Are you able to understand, Pratipa, what is NumPy and what is pandas?
Yes, ma'am. To some extent, I understood, but ma'am, I have a doubt in data frame. So
Uh-huh.
only after we run the program and we get the result output as a boolean, then only we'll be able to convert it to data frame. Before that, is it possible to know whether the output will be a boolean?
Uh, I'm able to understand actually, Pratibha, but you are learning, no, right now. That is the reason, like I'm telling you a clue actually, shortcut, no. It is a clue.
Okay,
For
okay,
example, if I see the code, I'm able to understand whether the output is Boolean or the exact result. No, but what about you actually? You are new to this concept, right? You are not
yes,
able
ma'am.
to understand, no, exactly like the Boolean or the answer. For example, Pratibha, just listen. Here, focus this. If you
Okay,
write directly, no, just focus my cursor. I am highlighting only to this particular section.
yeah,
Can
marks
you
between
see?
70 and
Ah,
90.
so what is this actually, Pratibha? It is a condition. Am I correct? Ah,
Yes, ma'am.
what about the condition result? It is always Boolean. No, we use conditions inside if. So what about the output? It's a Boolean. True or
Okay,
false
okay,
only. No. So that is a
okay,
clue actually. That is why, like to avoid any mistake, no, in the future. So we have to go step by step, one by one. If you do everything at a time, like put data frame and put data frame marks between the condition, no. If I try to explain to directly like that, it is not a good way of teaching. No, you will get more confusion. So your mind will adapt to the direct syntax. So what you have to do, you have to think first whether the output comes or not. If it is coming, like maybe a result in Boolean, no, correct, Pratikha, then you
yes,
can
ma'am.
conclude your program has your program has correct logic, correct
Uh,
Pratibha, then you
yes,
will
ma'am.
go, then only you will proceed for the further step. So you have to check the condition, then later only you will go for the execution. No, that is why I am explaining step by step. So check the condition first and check the condition result as Boolean. If it is not correct, then what will happen, Pratibha? Can you see this? Like I have written the same one here, no? Like without double square bracket, only a single square bracket. I am getting error actually. You have to think why the error is coming. It is very important. Maybe if you go for any real-time scenarios in your office, right? They will give you millions of records. So
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
you don't have time to check out all the calculations. No. So you will go for the step by step. So you will go with first step, right condition, and then you check the result. If it is Boolean, then you will apply the result into a data frame. No, correct? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So please go with the flow actually, right? That is why I'm explaining first check the condition, then later execute the result. Okay.
Okay,
Don't
ma'am.
worry. Don't worry. I will give you more assignments related to pandas in our upcoming days at the end of till the end of the course. No, maybe at the end of the course you will become more proficient in pandas. Don't worry. Mm,
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
mm,
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Any doubts from anybody?
Yeah, hi, this is Kalyan.
Hi.
Yeah, hi, just a couple of queries. Like, first one is like earlier we are used to work on VS Code, but here like somebody you are using PyCharm, and today like I've seen the spider. So little concerned, like what is the one single standard? Like most of the companies are following, like majority of the companies are following. So that just want to know
Kalyan,
which is the one. Yeah.
Kalyan, it is always good to practice in VS Code, Kalyan, no issues,
Mhm.
right? But
Yeah, yeah.
VS Code in the sense like you want to go with advanced libraries, no, you have to manually install, like pip install. But my
Yes, yes.
advice is always
Yeah.
instead of VS Code, the most common editor for all companies nowadays with Jupyter. Even in my
Jupyter
office also, I'm
Notebooks.
using Jupyter only. If you get
Okay.
time, you please download and start practicing it from now onwards to Jupyter. Okay.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I am facing some issues in my system with Jupyter installation. That is why I have
Okay.
installed Spider. That is the reason. No major
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because like
yeah,
yeah,
there
I've
is
seen like
nothing.
various trainers like that implement different kinds like IDs, right? So I was a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
puzzled
It's
because I
like
am majorly
maybe if you go with work with another companies in the sense like that time you have to know how to work with different editors, no? That's why I'm doing with Spider.
a
But
spider.
my
Okay. Okay.
advice is always with Kalyan to go with
Yeah.
Jupyter. Okay, please
Jupyter
start
Notebook. Yeah.
practicing it with Jupyter. That is why even I am advising my Python students also know, like maybe your trainer working with VS Coding or Python classes, right? But my
Yes, yes.
advice to all my Python students only with Jupyter for best
Jupyter.
practice. Even
Yes,
in
yes.
normal CBSE schools also preferring Jupyter, no? Python is available in CBSE 10th, 11th and 12th syllabus, right? Correct?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Have you heard about that? Yeah, they are using Jupyter only. Jupyter
Oh,
is one of the more interactive editor compared to anything. Okay. Mm. Please go with
okay, okay.
Jupyter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So is it like I'm into core into data analytics? Like, so how like is it same only, right? Even for students like for AI batches or like uh, yeah,
Exactly.
Jupyter is the preferred
Yeah,
one.
please start practicing with Jupyter. Maybe if your trainer is asking any queries in the sense, you can just convey to them. Jupyter is one of the most interactive editor. For example, like it is the top for everything, no? All companies are using, even TCS, Wipro, every companies. I have seen it, no? Like they are using only Jupyter.
Yeah,
Kalyan?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Any other doubts? Anybody? Ranjani, have you gone through the notes? Ranjani, because you are only facing so many queries, no?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I have read the notes.
Are you able to understand? But still, I am not starting with Gen AI. I was thinking to start Gen AI today, but I'll start with by next session, no issues. My motive is to understand the strong knowledge on first basics of Python programming. That is why I'm saying like everyone, please read Python first, then later go with Gen AI. Because to understand generative AI, you have a good knowledge on Python with NumPy, Pandas, Keras, PyTorch, Matplotlib libraries, right? Okay, fine. Any queries from anybody? Okay, I'll give you some assignments for all of you today. Let's see. From next week, I'll start with the syllabus. Okay. Pratipam, Sandhya, hi. Sandhya, you have any doubts? Joshma, Manish, Ganga,
Ma'am,
Hari.
No, ma'am, I have no doubt.
ma'am.
Yeah, Shrikant. Hi, good morning.
Hi, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. I can't understand that pandas which you have orchestrated, which you have given that code. Can you please explain that one,
Oh, Shrikant. நீங்க எந்த what's your mother tongue?
ma'am? Tamil.
தமிழா? Okay, சரி.
Ah,
ஸ்ரீகாந்த்,
ah.
pandas உங்களுக்கு எடுத்தாங்களா? உங்க ட்ரெய்னர் எடுத்தாங்களா?
மேம் எடுத்தாங்க மேம். ஆக்சுவலி நான் ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணி பார்த்தேன். எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆச்சு. இப்போ திருப்பி வந்து எனக்கு அந்த ஸ்டெப்ஸ் வந்து கொஞ்சம் கன்ஃபியூஸ்டா இருக்கு. என்ன பண்ணீங்கன்னு
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நான்
எனக்கு
ஒரு
இது.
குயிக் ரீகேப் மாதிரி சொல்லட்டுமா? அதுக்கப்புறம் உங்க
சொல்லுங்க
ட்ரெய்னர் எடுத்த எங்க படிச்சீங்க பாண்டாஸ்?
மேம். பெசன்ட்ல தான் மேம் படிச்சேன்.
அத எந்த இடம்?
மேம் போரூர் மேம்.
போரூரா? ஓகே
ஆமா.
சரி. யார் எடுத்தா?
எடுத்த வெங்கடேஷ் சார்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒருத்தவங்க எடுத்தாங்க.
ஓகே. ஸ்ரீகாந்த் இங்க பாருங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பாண்டாஸ் ஃபைல ரீட் பண்ணனும். அப்புறம் டேட்டா ஃப்ரேம் கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணனும். கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமா அது ஒவ்வொரு டேட்டாவையும் வந்து அந்த டேட்டா ஃப்ரேம்குள்ள போட்டு எப்படி எடுக்கணும்னா df of column name. In case you want to take the maximum value na dot max. And you want to compare the values na df of marks equal to நீங்க SQL queries படிச்சிருப்பீங்க இல்லையா?
ஆமா ஆமா மேம்.
அப்படியே இங்க ரிலேட் பண்ணிக்க வேண்டியதான். அந்த லிமிட் 2 போடுவீங்கல்ல இங்க head of
ஆமா.
2. 10
ஓகே.
3 னா லாஸ்ட் 3. அது மாதிரி இப்போ இது பாத்தீங்கன்னா தெரியும். ID greater than 5 இருக்கு இல்லையா? இங்க எப்படி எழுதுவோம்னா df of ID greater than 5 போட்டுட்டு வர ஆன்சர் பூலியனா இருந்தா அந்த டேட்டா ஃப்ரேம்குள்ள போடணும். இது மாதிரி போடணும். சரியா?
ஓகே. ஓகே மேம். ஓகே.
இப்படி ஒவ்வொன்றா எழுதிட்டே போகணும். நீங்க இன்னும் படிச்சிட்டு இருக்கீங்களா? ஒரு
மேம் ஆக்சுவலி நான் இப்போ இது டேட்டா சயின்ஸ் ஏஐ வந்து கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிட்டேன். கோர்ஸ் முடிச்சிட்டு இப்போ வந்து ஜென்ஐக்காக கேட்டேன். அதனால அவங்க இதையும் அட்டன் பண்ண சொல்லிட்டாங்க. ஆமா.
ஓகே. நீங்க ஒரு முறை ரீட் பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே. ஓகே.
நான் போரூருக்கு வருவேன். முடிஞ்சா உங்களை மீட் பண்றேன். ஓகே.
ஓகே மேம். நீங்க வரும்போது சொல்லுங்க மேம்.
ஓகே ஷூர். பட் நான் வீக்கெண்ட் வர மாட்டேன். வீக்டேஸ்
ஓகே. ஓகே மேம். ஏன்னா வீக்டேஸ்ல எனக்கு எதுவும் கிளாஸ் இல்லை. அதனால நான் சும்மா அங்கே போய் ப்ரிப்பரேஷனுக்காக போயிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
எப்போ போவீங்க?
மேம் வீக்டேஸ்ல மார்னிங் 8:30 9 போவோம் மேம். போனா ஈவினிங் வரைக்கும் இருப்பேன் மேம்.
நாங்க அவர்கிட்ட கேக்குறேன். மருது கிட்ட கேட்டு உங்களை நான் இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்றேன்.
ஓகே மேம்.
குட். Any doubts from anybody? Hello? Any doubts from anybody?
No, ma'am.
No. Good. Okay. Can I give you some assignments for all of you to practice? But Shrikant, உங்களுக்கு புரியுதா flow புரியுதா நான் எடுத்த oops plus
அதெல்லாம் புரியுது மேம்.
Okay, okay, fine. நான் மீட் பண்றேன். I will meet you one day.
ஓகே மேம்.
Okay. Now, all of you, can I give you some assignments for all of you to practice? Kalyan, Pratika, Ranjini.
Sure, ma'am.
Sandhya.
Yeah, sure, madam. Yeah, please.
Sure. Okay. All of
Yeah,
you,
ma'am.
all of you, please stay on the call. Wait, once again, I'll share one CSV file in the group. And I request everyone to please open the CSV file now. Okay, I'll share the CSV file in the WhatsApp group. All of you, before moving to that, I just want to know, like, everyone in the WhatsApp group, right? Anybody is missing? All of you in the group, right? Karthik, Kumar, Manish, Ganga.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All
okay.
are
Yeah,
there.
please wait. I'll just share one PDF CSV file right now. Hello, all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Pratika.
எஸ் மேம்.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Shrikant. How many records in the CSV file, Shrikant? Once again, please look.
எஸ்
Are you
மேம்.
missing?
எஸ் மேம். ஐ ஹவ் ரிசீவ்ட் மேம்.
How many rows in there?
ஒன் செகண்ட்.
Yeah, take your time.
100, ma'am.
100 rows, right? Okay.
ஹண்ட்ரட் மேம். ஒன் நாட்.
Yeah.
எஸ் மேம். 100.
One second. Yeah, I'll write the questions now in the chat box. So first question. Print the years which are leap years from all of you please see my screen. Production years, right? Kalyan, what is my first question? Can you just read it and tell me what is my first question? I'm expecting you to.
Yeah, print the years which are leap years from the production year.
Year, no? Clear? So in the production year column, we have so many years, right? But
Yes,
my
yes.
expectation is you have to verify filter only the leap years, correct?
Yes.
Print, can you write clearly? Print all the rows. Second question, print the engine name. Okay, print the engine name ends with print the engine name ends with L. Ends with L in the sense?
Diesel.
Diesel, correct? Okay. Print the maximum price. Okay. Print the maximum. Okay. Print the maximum price from last 10 rows. Shrikant, please read the third question.
Print the maximum price from last 10 rows.
You have to take first last 10 rows. Then later you calculate the maximum price. Correct, Shrikant?
Okay.
Not the total
Yes.
data frame. Okay, and fourth question. Print the ID value which are Sandhya, read the fourth question. Sandhya, read the fourth
Print
question.
the ID value which are given IDs.
Clear, Sandhya?
Yeah, ma'am.
Good. Sandhya, please wait and read the fifth question also. Print the product name as type and engine should be diesel. So, Sandhya, so what we have to do? You have to check two columns. You have to check two columns. Correct, Sandhya?
Yeah, ma'am. Product name as bike and engine.
Yeah. The product name must be bike and the engine name must be diesel. No,
Diesel.
You have to written like and condition. Am I correct, Sandhya?
Yeah, ma'am.
You have to go with and condition. Right? Here, I'll just write and operator. Apply and operator in the query. And sixth question. Print the first 10 rows of last. Talia, read the sixth question.
Yeah, print the first 10 rows of last 3
columns.
Yeah, columns. Yeah.
Clear? Clear? Question is clear? Hello?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
In the average mileage price, which is above the print the height value, which is above the average of height. Pratipa, can you please read the seventh question? Pratipa.
The height in mm value which is above the average of height.
Very good. Ranjani, can you read the eighth question? Ranjani? She's there. Shrikant, please read the eighth question.
As from create simple manager class and create simple function to generate random captcha code with length either 4 or 5 or 6 characters.
You have to generate a random captcha, but the length is not fixed to one, either 4 characters, 6 characters, or 5 characters. You can
Yes, ma'am.
generate upper cases, lower cases, or digits, everything, whatever you can do. Right?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Kalyan, please read the last question.
Yeah, create simple 2D array with 3 rows and 4 columns. Find the sum of all elements in first and last column.
In your own array, 3 rows and 4 columns, right? It is your
Yes.
own array. But you have to
Oh.
calculate the sum of first and last column. Okay. And the last question from Pandas, print all the price in descending order. So what we have to apply, Shrikant? We have to apply order by descending, right? Sorting.
Yes, ma'am.
I have given 10 questions for all of you. Okay, I'll share the task also in the group now. Okay, can you all finish it and share me? You have to take the screenshot